Welcome to ESL's Go4SC2 number 44 semifinals hosted by Steel Series. I'm your caster Kessel, and today we're going to have game 2 between Cass, who's going to be spawning as the red Terran at the top, and he's going to be playing against Mardow, who's going to be spawning as the blue Zerg at the bottom. Now, if you guys saw game 1, you would have seen that Mardow was able to pull one out from Cass, but I believe Cass disconnected. I'm not sure, but Cass still losing that game 1 to Mardow because of that disconnection. So by default, I guess Cass still loses that game, but that's too bad. It was a really good game, so please watch game 1. I'll provide a link at the underbar at the bottom over here, so you guys can watch game 1 if you don't want to see what happens in game 2 yet, and just see the whole series as one. And it looks like Mardow getting that Overlord to fly over here. And before I really start casting, I want to apologize for not putting up videos for 4 days. That is the longest I've ever gone without putting up a video. I was incredibly sick and tired because after I gave blood, I just lost all the energy for like a week. And I could barely handle school as it was, and I was just exhausted. And my throat was also just completely destroyed by some kind of virus. I don't know what was going on, but it was just terrible, and you probably wouldn't have wanted to hear me because I would have had no energy whatsoever to cast. But now that I do have energy, thanks for watching. And it looks like Mardow is getting an early expansion over here at the natural. So Mardow's going to play a very high econ build right now. Meanwhile, Cass getting that barracks out right now, and he is going to start blocking off his ramp over here. Marines getting built, trained out of the barracks right now, and he does have rallied towards that Overlord over here. Meanwhile, Mardow just putting down the spawning pool, and Cass does have an SCV inside Mardow's base, and it looks like one extractor going down for Mardow. Meanwhile, Cass has his refinery up, and he is getting it fully saturated, and Orbital Command also coming out, and those supply depots, he is building a couple more supply depots to finish off the block off with on the ramp over here. No more Marines getting trained though, and it looks like he is saving his money for other things. Mardow barely keeping his Overlord alive over here. The Marine just pushing that Overlord away, and it looks like Mardow is gonna transfer a couple of his drones from his main to his natural now, and he is getting a couple Zerglings right now, but he's not going to be able to do anything with that because it looks like Cass is going to completely block off, and he's continuing to train Marines right now. Meanwhile, a factory going up on the very back of Cass's base, so it looks like a hidden tech going up over here, and those Overlords aren't going to be able to spot that factory. Meanwhile, the links have come out, and it looks like no other tech getting research, speed getting research, and starport going up for Cass, and he's getting 2 starports out of. So this is going to be interesting since he's now got both gas, and he's probably going to go Banshees, and this could be real trouble for Mardow because he doesn't even have his lair tech right now, and Mardow just has 1 queen to defend the skies. Meanwhile, Mardow does have 2 bases, so he does have a strong economy, but that block off is going to prevent Mardow from being able to do anything other than just watch. And if that Overlord just flies over here, he's going to be able to see the starport, but the starport is going to be hidden, and it looks like that factory did build a tech lab, and that starport is getting another tech lab over here, and now there are 2 starports with tech labs on them, and a Banshee is starting to come out. No cloak being researched yet, but Banshees are coming out, and it looks like lair tech has not been researched yet, so Mardow could be in real trouble now. The factory flying all over the place, not content with just sitting in one place. Mardow producing Banshees from both starports, bypassing cloak to get extra Banshees, but Mardow seems to have spotted something. I believe he did speak. He did. Yes, he does not spot the starport, but he is getting multiple queens now. And he is getting a spine crawler, but no evolution chamber, so he won't be able to build spore crawlers. He did get double queens on each base, but that's still not going to be enough for Mardow. Mardow moving another queen, so it looks like after seeing what's going on here. The lack of Marines inside Kass's base. Mardow has decided that Kass is probably going Banshees, and those Banshees are going to start coming up here. And oh boy, Kass is going to start trying to snipe out those queens. One of the Banshees almost go down, and one of the queen does go down, but the Banshees are barely alive. He gets them back to heal, and it looks like an Overseer coming out in case of Cloak. More Banshees coming out of the starport. It looks like that Overlord is going to get shot down, and Kass is going to start repairing those Banshees as fast as possible so you can get as many Banshees out as possible. He does have several Banshees now, 4 of them, and he's getting a 5th one out of another starport. And now Kass is moving back up here, but there are more queens now, and he's continuing to train queens. He does have that lair tech now, and let's see, he does have both gas mined over here, and it looks like Mardow is going to start just sniping away at those queens. One of the Banshees almost getting taken out, and now Kass is forced to move back, and the queen's healing up a little bit. And oh, that queen gets healed, and one Banshee does go down, one queen does go down, 2 queens go down, but another queen does pop out of that lair. But another queen does go down, and it looks like Kass could be in serious trouble. He is getting an evolution chamber now, but those Banshees are going to be able to do massive damage to those drones. And it looks like Kass has pushed Mardow completely out of his base, and now he's going to try and destroy this lair over here that's trying to produce queens. But another queen trying to come up and manage to snipe off one of the queens, trying to delay Kass as much as possible so that Mardow could build something. Another queen coming out of the lair, and it looks like Mardow managed to snipe out a couple more drones. This Banshee has 10 kills. Oh wow, and that queen is going to get sniped out. So another kill for Kass, and Kass getting more Banshees over here. And it looks like Kass could be in serious trouble. He also got a Thor over here, so he did switch tech and get an armory. And that lair is going to go down, but mutas are in Mardow's agenda. He does manage to snipe out one of these Banshees. The other Banshee, 2 Banshees go down, but the Marines are going to come over here and reinforce those Banshees to keep them alive. Meanwhile, more Banshees continuing being built, but Kass continuing to build Banshees, but no Vikings. I'd suggest the Vikings because they are amazing against Mutalisks. More Thors being built though, and those are also pretty good against Mutalisks. Mardow getting a lair out of his natural, and he is getting another hatchery on in his main. Lings being produced right now, and it looks like Mardow currently has control of the skies right now. But let's see if anything will amount to that. Mardow moving his mutas over here, and he is going to start harassing these SCVs over here. Missile turrets going up from the SCVs, and more Banshees being produced. It looks like Kass is going to be able to push those mutas away and build those missile turrets safely. And that Thor getting a little bit stuck over here by the pathing. And another command center going down over in the natural for Kass. So he does have his second base, and he is getting an oral command off that. Meanwhile, Mardow getting a Bangling's Nest and continuing to produce mutas and Zerglings, so we're going to probably see a lot of Bangling action going on, but right now, that might not be too good because Mardow has a lot of Banshees, and he is not producing any Vikings right now though, but he does have that Thor, and a reactor going up for that barracks. Another starport coming up, so actually, maybe he's going to put that reactor on top of that starport. And it looks like a battle going up here, and the Marines managing to snipe out an Overlord, and now Kass is going to start pushing up over here. And he's going to try and destroy this Spine Crawler, and it's going to go down without fail. And a couple more Overlords getting sniped out by the Marines, and now Kass has control over here, but there are a lot of Lings over here, and they're going to start doing their work on those Marines, and those Marines are going to get completely annihilated. The Lings now going to go to work on the Thor. Will they be able to take it out? Ooh, oh. Let's see, the Thors are going to go down to the Ling and Mutalisks over here. So, Mardow losing a lot of his units in that push, but he is continuing. Now he's producing Hellions instead, and he is getting that Cloak and Pre-Igniter. More Banshees coming out, and it looks like Vikings are coming out for Kas, so he has finally an answer to those mutas. Those Marines are going to get annihilated though, but looks like, oh, a couple bunkers being built, but those SCVs do get destroyed by those mutas, and those Zerglings are going to have relatively easy time over here, but those Banshees are going to start firing away at those Lings, and the Hellion also being able to push those Lings away. But now Mardow has a couple of Lings inside Kas's base, but now Vikings have come out, and now he's going to start shelling away at those mutas. Those SCVs getting really trying to hold off this Ling, and they managed to destroy those Zerglings inside Kas's base. Kas getting another factory over here, and he does have those Banshees over here, and mutas continue, and it looks like those Banelings are going to start coming out, and centrifugal hooks are just going to finish before those Banelings are done. Another hatchery going up for Mardow over here, so he's getting his third base now, and Mardow continuing production of Mutalisks. Meanwhile, another 2 barracks getting built over here, and it looks like Kas is continuing production of Vikings, and he does have that pre-igniter finished for his Hellion now. More Hellions being produced out of the factory, and it looks like another barracks getting built right now, and now pokeroffKas continuing production of Banshees. He's getting a lot of Banshees, but now he has Vikings to back them up. So Mardow could be in serious trouble if Kas can get control of the skies. It looks like a relatively large air force being built right now, and those SCVs being very diligent repairing all these air units that Kas needs to desperately keep. More Banshees coming out, and it looks like there's 4 Banshees, 2 Vikings, and a Thor, as well as a couple Marines and Hellions, and it looks like a lot of Banelings over here, and they do have that speed. And it looks like Mardow slowly pushing up here with his units. Those Lings moving out, and those Banelings just rolling up. And we'll see if anything comes of it. One Zergling trying to do a relatively small push, and now the rest of the Lings are coming in, and those Banelings are going to try and annihilate. Oh man, they destroyed most of the ground forces over here, but they have no answer to the skies, and those Vikings are going to just shell away at a lot of these mutas. And now there's a sufficient amount of mutas to push, or Vikings to push away those mutas, as well as that Viking, or that Thor over here. And it looks like those Banshees are going to still stay alive, and the Thor getting repaired. All the air units getting repaired right now. Orbital Command is producing more SCVs, and it looks like a lot of upgrades going up. Terran Vehicle Weapons level 1, Stim Packs going up, a couple Medivacs going up, Marauders and Marines getting trained, but it looks like Mardow is going to continue producing Mutalisks and Zerglings.